Turnings, all types, aluminum, stainless, different types of iron and steel turnings, titanium turnings. Do scrapyards buy turnings? Now the answer is almost always yes, but turnings can be very different. We talked about this in a different video that we made on copper chops that were a little contaminated, where a scrapyard will buy them, but they will buy them at a significantly cheaper price. Now, turnings generally come from machine shops or manufacturing facilities where they're taking things, spinning them, and the turnings come off. Now, when those machine shops are cutting the metal, they could be using generally two different types of liquid. It could be a cutting liquid, or it could be a water jet. So turnings generally have moisture on them, but many turnings could be dry. Now, in front of me here, I have a set of copper turnings. Now, what you're going to notice here is all of these little pieces of blue that are inside. Now, the pieces of blue are not copper. These are pieces of plastic. Now, I don't know which type of machine shop that this came from, but when you see something heavily contaminated like this, it makes it very difficult for a scrapyard to buy because what are their percentages? We would treat this more like an insulated copper wire because of the plastic, but what if these were copper turnings that were mixed with steel? I'm certainly not going to sit here and separate it with a magnet, so when you go to sell it, it's going to be similar to like a CBM, a copper bearing material, because things are all mixed together and dirty. Now, next to me here, I have another example of turnings, and these are titanium turnings. Now, this is a solid piece of titanium, but here we have a bunch of titanium turnings that were cut from the same machine shop. Now, these machine shops used a very thin set of oil, and you can see that just by me pressing my hand on it, you're going to be able to see little specks on my glove of that oil that's on there, and that's why you always want to wear gloves. If you need to learn about videos on gloves or what type, we got those too. So these turnings have oil or water on them, and when we sell them, we don't sell them as a clean turning because technically some of the material, some of the weight is oil or water. So when you have things that are contaminated in there, it makes it hard for scrapyards to sell, especially if you're getting any type of mixed turnings, steel with aluminum, copper with aluminum, copper with steel, so on and so forth, stainless with aluminum. Those become a real cheap item because where do you send them? You can't send them to a copper mill, you can't send them to an aluminum mill or a stainless processor. They kind of get lumped in with the end barrel. You know, it's kind of like making a chili, you throw everything in. That's where this may go, somewhere where an alloy is being created and they don't mind mixed materials. But if you ever get customers or encounter turnings, make sure they're separated. Make sure you learn if they were cut with oil or water so you can avoid trying to tell a scrapyard you have clean material when in reality there's actually oil all over the scrap. So these are little things to look for. Now, not all scrapyards buy turnings, believe it or not, because they don't have markets for them. So this is another thing to keep in mind before you bring it to the yard. If you have any other questions about turnings or we missed something, comment below and we'll get in the next video.